Migrants complain of poor conditions at U.S. holding centers. El Paso, Texas APU. The Trump administration is facing growing complaints from migrants about severe overcrowding, meager food, and other hardships at border holding centers, with some people at an encampment in El Paso being forced to sleep on the bare ground during dust storms. The Border Network for Human Rights issued a report Friday based on dozens of testimonials of immigrants over the past month and a half, providing a snapshot of cramped conditions and prolonged stays in detention amid a record surge of migrant families coming into the U.S. from Central America. The report comes a day after an advocate described finding a teenage mother cradling a premature baby inside a Border Patrol processing center in Texas. The advocate said that the 5 immigrant children have died since late last year after being detained by the Border Patrol, including a flu-stricken teenager who was found dead in a facility migrants refer to as the icebox because of the temperatures inside. Customs and Border Protection responded to the complaints by saying allegations. The agency also cited its response to a critical Inspector General's report last month, in which it said the government is devoted to treating migrants in its custody with. The Trump administration has blamed the worsening crisis on inaction by Congress. Many of the complaints center on El Paso, where the Inspector General found severe overcrowding inside a processing center. A cell designed with indoor facilities overcrowded, the Border Patrol has kept some immigrants outside and in tents near a bridge in El Paso with nothing but a mylar foil blanket. Others have been kept. A professor who visited 2 weeks ago said it resembled a human. Migrants in El Paso and elsewhere also complained of inadequate food such as a single burrito and a cup of water per day. Women said Another complaint is that migrants are kept in detention beyond the 72-hour limit set by Customs and Border Protection. Some reported the teenage mother with the premature baby, for example, spent 9 days in Border Patrol custody after crossing the Rio Grande with her newborn, according to a legal advocate who visited the girl in a McAllen, Texas, processing center. An exodus of people fleeing poverty, drought, and violence in Guatemala, Honduras and El Salvador has led to a record number of migrant families being apprehended at the U.S.-Mexico border in recent months. Agents made President Donald Trump's $4.5 billion border request for things such as an expansion of detention, medical care, food, and shelter has languished on Capitol Hill since he sent it over 6 weeks ago, with House Democrats at odds with the White House. Congress is set to. Lawmakers are becoming increasingly agitated. In Associated Press writer Astrid Galvin in Phoenix and Andrew Taylor in Washington contributed to this report.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park.